What's up, guys? Thanks for coming to Game in Canada with me. A few days ago, Nintendo dropped a 6.2.0 update that effectively broke custom firmware and homebrew for anyone who updated. I've been getting a lot of questions from those same people who updated, wondering if there's any hope of them again running unsigned code on their Switches. Well, if you browsed any forum lately, you'd hear the same thing as I'm about to tell you. 6.2.0 is the best update Nintendo ever created, and it will never be cracked.
Bill, it's been cracked.
What?
It's been cracked.
It's been cracked? What do you mean it's been cracked? It's only been 3 days. But I thought it was impossible to crack. For real. Okay, no, cut.
Cut. Guys, cut it. We gotta start over.
What's up, guys? Thanks for coming to Game in Canada with me. A short while ago, some SHA-256 hashes were shared on Twitter by Moda Zazer. Now, these included the newest Switch Master Key 05 that's been needed by homebrew devs to hack into Nintendo's newest 6.2 firmware update. This firmware update attempted and succeeded at Nintendo stopping users from modifying their console, even going as far as preventing custom firmware from booting. While 6.2 was thought to have been a permanent fix to hacking their handheld console, it turns out it might have been a short-lived victory for Nintendo, as these hash tweets were accompanied by the words 6.2.0 cracked. This fairly quick crack has surprised most of the community, as online the fear levels had already reached a level high enough to warrant many community PSAs that were basically suggesting 6.2 might never be cracked and under no circumstances to update your Switch. This led to many comments stating how amazing Nintendo is for solving this simple hardware exploit with a software patch. Although the Tegra X1 boot chip exploit on earlier Switches will always remain, the way the consoles boot into stock or custom firmware seem to have the ability to be changed through updates. So, are we safe forever from more firmware updates, or is the game of hacking cat and mouse between homebrew devs and Nintendo just beginning to fire up? Well, unfortunately, to my knowledge, the method used for cracking 6.2.0 was leaked surrounding this hype, and it's possible someone somewhere got a hold of it. This might mean that the Big N could drop another firmware update similar to 6.2 but with more changes to prevent the dumping of system information, making a 6.3 crack nearly impossible.
Yeah, we heard that before.
With presale numbers of Smash Bros. Ultimate reaching record heights compared to any previous Smash Bros. Game, Nintendo has a lot riding on this title working flawlessly out of the box on its December 7th release and onwards towards Christmas. I can imagine a new Switch and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate plus a Nintendo Online subscription could be netting Nintendo a lot of profit this coming holiday season. Speaking of subscribing, have you guys hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell? You should probably do that. If the game is broken because of hackers, no one is going to want to play the online features, and maybe they're going to suffer in sales. Now that 6.2 has been cracked, one has to wonder that even with brief access, it's possible cheaters could ruin the game early for players, causing Nintendo to enact massive ban waves while attempting to keep their online service as a viable Christmas option. Also, while on the topic of Smash Bros. Ultimate, new Smash Bros. Brickware is appearing in the wild amidst news outlets receiving review copies of the game early. As of right now, the game hasn't been leaked and no NSPs or XCI files should be ran as of right now. This is also a great time to make a NAND backup in preparation for more Brickware releases, such as the Pokemon Let's Go Brick Your Switch release just over a week ago. So you're asking yourself, Phil, you're all over the place. What the heck were you even talking about? Well, what I was getting at is a 6.3 update with even more security measures to nearly permanently patch Homebrew is likely to be released soon. If we don't see permanent patching of Homebrew, then we will at least be seeing more frequent firmware updates from Nintendo trying to block out console modders for a few days and prevent lower firmwares from going online with hacks. Either one of these scenarios is very likely depending on the information that Nintendo has at their disposal. Just recently, Nintendo removed the 1-week grace period, which allowed unupdated consoles to access the eShop and go online. So this means now when a new update drops from Nintendo, you'll be instantly nagged to update if you want to access the eShop or use online features. Regardless of a new 6.3 update dropping or not, I imagine within the next few days, up to a week, we will see the Switch homebrew devs releasing new versions of their custom firmware updated to work on 6.2.0. If you have updated, then have no fear, you'll be running homebrew again soon. If you aren't very patient and just want to play your games on custom firmware, you can go ahead and check out a new method that was released over on sdsetup.com. This new guide that was released allows you to downgrade from 6.2 to any firmware you want. What's the catch? You can't use sleep mode and you can't boot original Switch firmware. Since this is fairly inconvenient for most Switch users, it's suggested that if you played in dock mode that this is a viable option, as being docked can allow you to disable sleep mode. Although it quickly became unneeded, it's a pretty cool little workaround for booting older firmwares, which was thought to be basically impossible and might even become very useful in the future. Regardless, if you wait for 6.2 custom firmware releases or go ahead and downgrade, it's pretty crazy to see how ingenious, dedicated, and fast acting the Switch homebrew community is at keeping custom firmware alive. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Do you think Nintendo is going to drop a 6.3 update soon? Is it going to be permanent, or is it going to be a string of very small updates that are trying to keep you offline? If you haven't given the video a like, then please do that. We're hitting a fat amount of likes lately, and I'd like to keep it up. It also helps out the channel and lets me know that you guys are digging the content. Much love. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.